Recording in progress.
Innovation is everywhere today. Organizations, well known figures are including the term innovation in their vision, mission, objective statements, as well as regularly mentioning the term innovation in speech. And this has resulted in innovation being a highly known term globally. But what is innovation? And how does one innovate to elevate themselves or the community around them? Most particularly, the community with special educational needs. My name is Wala Muhammad, Program Associate of SEAMEO SEN, and I am the moderator for today. Welcome and selamat datang to the first innovation webinar organized by SEAMEO SEN, which aims to provide opportunities to all disability inclusive education educators and advocates in inculcating creativity and promote innovation. Today's webinar aims to deliver the definition and clear concept of innovation in disability inclusive education, to educate the importance of innovation in education for learners with disabilities, to instill inspiration and motivation, as well as to promote and share about SEAMEO SEN Disability Inclusive Education Innovation Competition 2023. And we are extremely honored to have with us five remarkable and inspiring speakers who will be sharing their insights on today's topic, Innovate to Elevate. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I am delighted to mention that this webinar would not have been materialized if it had not been for the great support and ideas from our very own director of SEAMEO SEN, Dr. Hajah Hanani Harun Rasid. Dr. Hanani is extensively passionate about special education, and this topic today on innovation in providing opportunities to all disability inclusive education is definitely close to her heart. With that, I'm extremely honored to welcome Dr. Hajah Hanani Harun Rasid to deliver her opening remarks. Dr. Hanani, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Dr. Azli Sani Mak Jalil, Deputy Director of SEAMEO SEN. Our speakers for today, Associate Professor Dr. Nik Hishamuddin Muhammad Noor, Director, Industry and Community Relations Center, Tun Hussein On, University of Malaysia, Mr. Wan Muazzam Wan Abidin, Innovation Teacher, Sekolah Kebangsaan Klang, Malaysia, Miss Metawi, CEO of Vulcan Coalition Thailand, Miss Betia Sahara, Innovation Teacher, SLB Negeri Kota Banjarbaru, Indonesia, Dr. Erwin D. Salupari, Special Education Teacher, Senator Claro M. Rector Memorial Integrated School, Philippines, SEAMEO SEN Webinar Organizing Committee, and to all participants from SEAMEO member countries. I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar, Innovate to Elevate. My sincere appreciation to all participants who live stream via Zoom, SEAMEO SEN, Facebook, and YouTube. Today, we have successfully gathered dedicated teachers, school administrators, parents, NGOs, and caregivers of learners with disabilities who are keen to boost their knowledge in uplifting the quality of education for learners with disabilities. Thank you for your commitment and effort to attend this webinar. SEAMEO SEN always put our best effort to fulfill the mandate as the regional center for special educational needs in providing platforms to share the best practices for special education teachers and foster collaborative efforts among countries, institutions, and non-profit organizations for the benefits of the disability inclusive education in SEAMEO member countries and beyond. For this webinar, SEAMEO SEN aims to shed the light on innovation for learners with disabilities, which is expected to instill inspiration and motivation among special education teachers, advocates, parents, and community towards developing impactful innovation projects. The innovation is not only to explore solutions, but also to provide an accessible environment with appropriate tools and resources for learners with disabilities to realize their full potential. This is in line with what Albert Einstein said. You can't solve a problem on the same level it was created. You have to rise above it to the next level. I certainly hope that with this kind of exposure and sharing will further ignite the passion in all of you to develop innovations which will benefit learners with disabilities. Therefore, I strongly encourage all participants today to focus and grasp as much information that will be delivered by the speakers later. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Nick Hishamuddin, Mr. Wan Muazzam, Ms. Matawi, Ms. Betia, and Dr. Erwin. SEAMEO SEN is very honored to have these experts with us today for sharing their knowledge and experience on innovations. It is hoped that the sharing sessions by our speakers will help all of you to get ideas and inputs to produce impactful innovations which eventually will contribute in breaking through new strategies on teaching and learning in the disability inclusive education context. On my final note, I am delighted to inform you that SEAMEO SEN will be organizing the Special Education Innovation Competition next year in 2023. Therefore, we are looking forward to having all of you take part in the competition and sharing this information with your network. Please keep updated with SEAMEO SEN's programs and activities via our official website and social media. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I wish you an enjoyable and productive webinar ahead. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Hajah Hanani, and thank you for your inspiring remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, on 26 August 2021, the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization, SEAMEO Secretariat, in close collaboration with UNESCO Bangkok, launched the online course for teachers entitled Responding to Educational Needs of Learners with Disabilities in Emergencies. And with 4 modules and 26 videos, Disability Inclusive Teaching in Emergency, or DTIM, is a free online self-paced course designed to assist teachers of learners with disabilities in ensuring inclusive instructions and support during an emergency. That being said, I would like to invite Mr. Ahmad Haikal Amir Hamza, Unit Manager of SEAMEO SEN, to share insights on the team module. Please welcome Mr. Ahmad Haikal.
Assalamualaikum and hello educators. My name is Haikal. I am from the Strategic Communication Unit in SEAMEO SEN. Good day, and I'm very glad to be able to share in our session today with the rest all of you, enthusiasts and energetic educators here. As mentioned earlier, now I would like to briefly explain to you about an online learning course, the Disability Inclusive Teaching in Emergency, or in short DTIM. This course is entitled as Responding to Educational Needs of Learners with Disabilities in Emergencies. This online learning course was a joint effort from UNESCO Bangkok, Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization, SEAMEO Secretariat, funded by Global Partnership for Education GPE, and of course SEAMEO SEN as well as the coordinating parties. These self-learning online courses are designed and put in effort to support and give some insights and knowledge to all educators out there, and perhaps could be extended to other parties, such as the school administrators, parents or caregivers, in response to the current education hurdles that we all are facing right now. There are a total 4 modules in this online learning course. They are Module 1, Stress Management and Psychosocial Support, Module 2, Utilizing Different Assistive Technologies, Module 3, Developing an Emergency Response Plans, and Module 4, Continuity of Learning. Now allow me to briefly walk you through on each of the modules. Firstly, the Module 1, Stress Management and Psychosocial Support. This module consists of 4 chapters that are structured to enlighten you on the effective interventions on stress management and strategies to provide psychosocial support to yourself as an educator and of course to your learners with disabilities. From this module, you will also gain competency in tapping others' potentials in assisting families at home, in school, and in the communities around them. Additionally, this module will elaborate on the benefits of these interventions for the well-being of learners with disabilities. Moving on, in Module 2, which is on utilizing different assistive technologies. To begin with, there are a total of 3 chapters in this module. You will learn about different types and functions of assistive technology devices and their benefits to the learners with disabilities. In addition, you will be able to determine the assistive technologies that are appropriate to your learners, as well as how you can modify or adapt those tools to facilitate the learning process of learners with disabilities. Next up, we have Module 3, that is on developing an emergency response plan. This module consists of 3 chapters that will equip you with knowledge and skills related to disaster risk reduction at school. Furthermore, this module will explain on how to mitigate the impacts on learners with disabilities following inclusive principles in emergency planning and response. This module also shares the comprehensive emergency response, emergency standard operating procedures, as well as safety rules which will help to accommodate the needs of learners with disabilities. And in Module 4, which is the final module, will be on the continuity of learning. In this 4-chapter module, you will be able to learn more about the importance of ensuring educational services which are continuously delivered and how a safe and inclusive space can be created. This module also identifies strategies in helping with remote learning transitions, the reopening of schools, apart from the best practices in supporting learners with disabilities as they prepare themselves to go back to school. All in all, we at SEAMEO SEN would strongly encourage all educators to explore further on these modules at your own pace, as we believe that they will empower and help educators in coping with the current situation and challenges. Hopefully, as a result, educators will be able to find the best ways and solutions in delivering educational services that learners with disabilities require. This online learning module is now accessible through website and mobile application called DTeam course and available for public access. Please feel free to visit onlinecourse.seameo.org to browse through contents and materials of the online learning course. You will also be getting a certificate of completion from SEAMEO if you manage to complete the course in due time. So please give it a go, and personally I hope all educators will benefit from this initiative by implementing and translating it back to the community of learners with disabilities. Till then, I wish you all a good session for today and wish you all the best. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Haikal. We are truly honored to have all the speakers here with us today, whom I will further introduce later. But in a nutshell, here they are. Associate Professor Dr. Nik Hishamuddin Muhammad Noor, Mr. Muazzam, or also known as Cikgu Azam, Ms. Betawi, Ms. Betia, and Dr. Irving. Absolutely looking forward to the session to start in a short while. Before that, allow me to move on to the workshop briefing. As this briefing is highly significant for all participants here in our YouTube and Facebook channel, we hope you pay close attention. Firstly, during the Q&A session, all participants may ask questions by typing in the chat box. However, the moderator will only choose some questions and participants due to time limitations. The link to the evaluation form will be shared via chat box during the workshop, and workshop certificate will only be sent to participants who have completed the evaluation form. The certificate will be sent to participants through email that has been registered within 14 working days. Thank you all for your kind attention. Ladies and gentlemen, hope all of you are as excited as I am. Let us start with round 1 with our first speaker. Associate Professor Dr. Nik Hishamuddin Muhammad from Malaysia is the Director of Industry and Community Relations Center, ICRC, from University Tun Hussein Malaysia, UTHM. He obtained his diploma in mechanical engineering from 𝐅𝐑𝐄𝐄 National College of Technology, Miyazaki, Japan. Then his degree and master in production system engineering from Toyohashi University of Technology, Japan, before finishing his Doctor of Engineering in Functional Materials Engineering, also from the same university in year 2011. He started his journey in UTHM in 2006, and then from there onwards, Dr. Nick has been actively involved and, as a matter of fact, initiated and coordinated several programs related to students' development and innovation, and has led UTHM team as overall champion in My Innovasi 2014, where 4 out of 10 awards been awarded to UTHM, including the top winner of the competition. In year 2015, he had been appointed as Deputy Director in ICC before being promoted as Director in the same center in year 2018. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, I would like to welcome our first speaker for today, Associate Professor Dr. Nick. So, Dr. Nick, how are you? Can you help us all understand? You're welcome, Doctor. We're so happy to have you with us.
Yeah, I'm also happy to be with all of you today. I'm very honored to be all of you with all distinguished speakers. Thank you very much, SEAMEO SEN.
Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, can you help us all understand what innovation is all about?
Okay, sure. But then the sharing today is more on to encourage all parties that involved in education innovation. Okay, just my sharing. Okay, allow me to share my screen first. Okay, can you see my slides, Madam?
Yes, yeah, we can see your slide, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Before I proceed further, first of all, I would like to give my special thanks to SEAMEO SEN, Dr. Haja Hanani, Director of SEAMEO SEN, Dr. Azli Sani, the Deputy Directors of SEAMEO SEN, and also to all distinguished panels, all participants, either from YouTube and Facebook. I believe that they have all joined either in YouTube or Facebook channel of SEAMEO SEN. Okay, first of all, as mentioned by Madam Moderator, Miss Waila, actually I've been involved in innovation. Actually started after I finished my master studies in Japan. I went back to Produa. We in nature, I before I became a lecturer, I was an engineer in one of automotive industries in Malaysia. So we as engineers, we are innovators in nature. So I just share with all of you just just bit of my experience on actually how actually I start and how actually to for all of you to start your innovation journey. Okay, just brief introduction. This all not the content for today. Introduction. What are the issues that bothering all parties or all people who want to start innovations and what's innovation all about, and why is important. Innovation is important to not only for education sectors but actually to our countries and our nation. Okay, first of all, being involved in innovation for quite long times. Usually, when we talk about innovations, a lot of people have tendency to think innovation in very difficult ways. Okay, but please be reminded, when we talk about innovation should start with simple things, and please don't make it hard. Sometimes we have problems we want to solve, especially when it comes to technical people. As in my areas, we involve in engineering and technical things. Most of the times, all engineering or technical people they have tendency to think something in very difficult way. When they have some problems, they will start to do brainstorming. They will start to do all the postmortem, divided it into 4 M's: man, machine, material, method, and so on. They always started with difficult thing. They want to do something big. So please be reminded, please keep in your mind that when you start innovation, it don't have to be something big. We can just start it very small things. Okay. Yeah, of course, when we talk about innovation, still I've been involved in several programs and projects with school also, and some projects also involve special education. Now they have discussed with us a lot of things. Some of them they're not really sure how actually they want to start something. They have an ideas, they have problems. They know they see a problem and they face problems, but when it comes to they want to come up with a solution and or they want to start something, they actually they don't know how to start it. Okay, of course they study in within their own own organization, but then how actually they can move further, how actually they can collaborate further with outside with external parties. All this thing is very important to to start the innovation project. Also, they don't actually knows how to innovate. For example, they have a problem, they have an ideas, but then some ideas because of the levels of the innovation itself might be varies from one solution to another solution. So if they don't actually know how to innovate, and some innovations based on the innovation that they want to propose, the innovation itself might require money. So they sometimes some of the schools they have been actively supported by all the parents teacher association, PTA or PIBG we call it in Malaysia. But some of schools, especially in rural schools, school with limited number of students, they are quite struggling in terms of getting money to fund the innovation project. Sometimes also they come out, they also face with difficulties in the policies. They are not supporting the policies. They have done a lot of innovation, but then when they want to move further, they want to try to expand their innovation. Started with schools, and then for information, some of the school innovations, some of them actually have a very big potential to be converted into profit, into money. But then in terms of the policy itself, sometimes some schools, government sectors, they don't have a supporting policies. They don't really know supporting partners, how to develop talent in innovation, and they don't really have not enough reference material. So this is all the issues that sometimes bothering all educators and hinder them to move forward or to be actively engaged or to be actively participate involved in the innovation. Okay, even though this is the formal description or explanation about innovation, but this of course by UNESCO, but not just forget about this. All this this very difficult. This definition might be suitable for those who been actively involved in education, in innovation, or someone who involved in higher education. But then just when we talk about innovation, as I mentioned, we just talk with very simple terms. Okay, innovate is about problem solving, is all about improvement, and also when we talk about improvement, in Japan we call it kaizen, and some kaizen improvement they will also involve invention and innovation. So all these things will be considered as innovations. Just depends on the way you look at it, and also depends on the parties who want to embark into this innovation. Because most of the industries, last time when I was with industries, we always done kaizen team improvement. Okay, but after certain years now they have introduced something like innovation cycle. And then they started to use innovation term of innovation, and they start to innovate. But then in general, these all the things covered the ecosystem of innovation. So please don't think something big. Started with a small thing. As long as you know, as long as you understand the problems that you want to solve, and then you come out. Of course, sometimes we don't really know how actually we want to proceed. With the problem solving. But then I believe that either in the school levels or and then we move to district level. There are certain supporting groups that can support all these problem solving things. Okay, as I mentioned, when we talk about innovation, there are several levels. Of course, this is based of my experience. We will start with very small things. Okay, we start with small things, level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay, for example, innovation, when we talk about innovation at the first level is more on awareness and knowledge. For example, now sometimes we have face problems with the awareness of special needs among students, for example. So we just create an awareness, we just create a poster, innovation poster, we just create a so-called as a video, so that it can give more awareness and knowledge to the targeted peoples. But then, in terms of innovation, we cannot just simply make a poster or video to solve the problem. We should also come up with the branding, program branding. Okay, what are the program branding to serve the awareness and knowledge? Also, in term level 2, we are going to come up with programs and tools. Okay, programs will involve a lot of module. For example, as I believe that our panels today, they have a lot of programs, but program involve modules. Okay, modules. When we talk about modules, we have to have proper study. We have to have proper discussion, so that we can come up with proper modules, and the modules will be really benefit to the targeted group of people. Also, we can also come up with a simple tools. Okay, the level 2, and then when it comes to level 3, is more on higher level things, and then in the higher level things, we are going to talk about products or technology that can serve, that can support all these special needs communities. So all these levels about innovation. Just to give you a few examples, this was done during the first phase of COVID-19. Of course, when we talk about COVID-19, me myself as lecturer, we are not directly involved in the medical frontliners. Even though we are not in the medical front lines, it doesn't mean that we cannot do anything. We have to play our own parts. We have to play our own role. So this is just our what we did before in the first phase of COVID-19. We just make a simple innovation. Okay, we just create awareness poster, and then we print it, and then we have distributed to several local authorities, and also to several so-called as night market nearby our university. This is just simple innovation, so that it can give awareness to the communities about the COVID-19. This is the recent one. This is also example of this one is video. Just want to share you. Okay, this also just a video, just a simple videos using very simple tools, using all these, all free tools, free apps from a mobile phone. This is also an example of tools, very simple tools, just to place on top of the condensed milk, so that condensed milk, once we open the lid at the top of it, we can put this one. This is very simple one. And the last one. Yeah, this one is very, very complicated. So there's a level lah, Madam Suhaila. So this is just an introduction of innovation.
Thank you, Doctor. So echoing from what you mentioned earlier, right, on innovation, start simple, right? Do not make it
start
hard.
Simple. Yeah.
And I also believe that simplicity, it sort of reduce the complex ideas. But conveying in a simple way and yet successful. So thank you, Dr. Ni. We look forward to a second session. Now, I'm sure there are a lot for you to share. I heard that you normally do 6 hours of lectures, but now you have to compress it to 8 minutes. So
True. It's very difficult. Now we as lecturer, we can speak all over the day,
Yeah, I understand. Okay, Doctor. Thank you so much for your great input. All right, moving on. Assistive technologies in education have been rapidly expanding in recent years, and recently, the innovation has been penetrating schools worldwide, in Malaysia more particularly. Teachers who initiate particularly amazing innovations are publicly recognized, and today we are proud to have one to share on experiential sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to invite an innovative teacher of Sekolah Kebangsaan Klang, Mr. Wan Muazzam bin Wan Abidin, or also known as Cikgu Azam, a special education teacher at Sekolah Kebangsaan Klang, Selangor, with 14 years of professional experience in special education. Cikgu Azam has his own unique perspectives on his student achievement and always look forward to magnify his students' abilities to participate in various programs and do anything as others in their community. He believes that it is his responsibilities to help his students to achieve their dreams. And according to Cikgu Azam, if they have a dream, there will always be something to pursue. And that being said, he believes that the pure value in themselves must always be instilled. We are delighted to have you with us, Cikgu Azam.
Hi, Soila.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, Cikgu Azam, let us talk about your innovation. What it actually is and what inspired you to innovate and why did you choose on that particular innovation? The floor is yours, Cikgu Azam.
Okay. Thank you, Sohaila. Thank you very much to everybody. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everybody, especially to all my fellow special education teacher from all the country of Southeast ASEAN. My name is Wan Muazzam bin Wan Abidin, but my family, my friend call me Azam. My lovely student call me Cikgu Azam. Cikgu Azam in English is a teacher, so Teacher Azam. I'm grew up in Miri, Sarawak. My hometown are really near to Brunei. And actually my mom and my grandfather, my grandparents, they are from Brunei, high on Brunei. And I grew up in Miri till I moving to Selangor on 1998 for my study and for my work till now. I have been a teacher since 2009, and I'm specialized in special education and as a TVI. TVI is acronym for Teacher of Visual Impairment. Before becoming a teacher, I studied my first degree at University Putra Malaysia in Science of Forestry. Majoring on outdoor education is not far from special education. After graduating from university, I work for education training center. We are doing various of program for student, for school. I'm doing a therapeutic actually all the time, and starting from that, I do found them. Yeah, they are really special. I found persons. I found a kid with variety of disability. Right. On that time, I'm realized I do fall in love, and I starting to learn on disability. Yeah. Then I try apply to become a teacher and study in institute that training a special education teacher. And I finished for my diploma in education that I can let me to teach. And I work at a Sekolah Kebangsaan Klang since 2009. All right, guys. And actually, I'm just a ordinary teacher. I'm just ordinary teacher doing my job, doing my teaching. I'm loving to teach, but in my free time, I always enjoy staying at home and hitting my lovely book. There are a lot of books, but much of my time also, I'm an outdoor person. As I'm love sunny day where I can run and walk by myself. I'm enjoying hiking, practicing photography and sport fishing. Do you know why I'm love running and outdoor activity? Because I feel like a superhero in the nature. And one of my goal is to help my student, my blind student actually, getting healthy and become a good runner. All right, guys. Next, please, for the second page. Guys, this is a doa, a simple doa, my own doa actually, several of sentence that words to our God that I always use to share to everybody once I'm a panel in a webinar, in any TV program or any talk that I have joined before. Today I will share and I will read together with everybody, and perhaps it will let us to be a remind who we are who we are in the special education industry. Right, guys? All this only temporary and just a test for me and to others. Whether we will remember our God or not, whether I'm still pursuing this invention or not, for me to not forget to do a good to all humankind. In fact, all this goodness are belong to Him, and the calm soul is the key to conveying those goodness. Amen. All right, guys. For the next page, please. All right. Firstly, for introduce my innovation, my simple innovation actually, my innovation product that I have invented 2019, I call as a Cavalier Survey. I prepare a simple video for all of you to watch, and perhaps everybody will enjoy my video, my simple video. Please, technical team, to play my introduction video. Thank you.
Perjalanan ini terasa sangat menyedihkan. Sayang engkau tak duduk di sampingku kawan. Banyak cerita yang mestinya kau saksikan di tanah kering bebatuan.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Actually, even every time I watch this video of me and my lovely student Alisha in the video, Adik Alisha, using this product, this innovation product, they are feeling that I could not to directly to describe. I believe it is satisfaction on what I have done and an achievement of my student. For the info, this video has gone viral on social media last year. This device gained attention a few of my TikTok, my Facebook, and my YouTube videos circulate across all the media, social in media in Malaysia and also several of countries until to Spain, to Italy, Britain.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes,
Cikgu Azam. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing insights on your innovation and how it has impacted the life of your student. It was truly remarkable, and I'm sure that teachers, other teachers as well, have the desire to help their students to participate like other typical students, and the approach on innovation is intentionally and thoughtfully. So well done, Cikgu Azam. Okay, we'll come back to you on round 2. But before we move on, I would like to acknowledge our amazing viewers from YouTube and Facebook from Malaysia, Philippines, Cambodia, Laos, Indonesia, Brunei, who else? Singapore. Okay, welcome and hope all of you will stay with us until 1 o'clock for today's webinar session. Ladies and gentlemen, social enterprise can be an alternative for work integration of the disabled. Although persons with disabilities have undergone more severe exclusion and have other socially disadvantaged groups in the labor market, social enterprises selected the disabled as one of their main target group to help enact disability-centered public policy. With that, we are extremely honored to have our third speaker, Ms. Metawi Tatsana Satyankit, CEO of Vulcan Coalition from Thailand, to share insights on the social enterprise of persons with disabilities. Ms. Metawi is a founder of AI startup named Vulcan, a company which aims to provide job opportunities for PWDs across Thailand. And this year, 600 PWDs were hired to work in digital position through Vulcan platform, which specialty designed for PWDs. Vulcan also works closely with the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security in Thailand to develop the e-learning platform for all types of PWDs to reskill and upskill their competencies. So with that, Sawadika, Ms. Metawi, welcome.
Thank you.
The floor is yours, Ms. Metawi.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm June Metawi, CEO of Balkan Coalition. Firstly, I would like to open the video to give the brief introduction about Vulcan. When we think about the job for PWD, the choice is quite limited. There are several options for PWD to earn income in Thailand, including massage, call center, or selling the lottery. On the other hand, the thrive of AI industry require a lot of workforce. So we think PWDs might have ability to do this kind of job. So in the video, you will see that we train PWDs with a blind, deaf, and mobile ability to be able to work in AI industry as data labeler. This is the deaf people who we train them to preparing the visual data for training the computer vision AI. We also training the mobile ability to be the data labeler as well. Today, we think with the PWD abilities, they can help AI industry in Thailand to thrive because we can unlock the limitation of data in AI industry in Thailand. I will share this slide to tell you more about Vulcan Coalition. The main reason that we found Vulcan because we see two problem in Thailand. Firstly, there are the unemployed problem in PWD groups, and secondly, there are insufficient data in AI industry. In Thailand, 100,000 PWD in working age are unemployed, and this situation is worse because of COVID-19. Why there are myriads of PWD desperate for jobs to earn income and sustain their life. AI industry in Thailand are seeking for workers to collect and prepare data sets for training AI algorithms. Can we see the opportunity to utilize PWD ability to collect and preparing data for training AI, and this become our competitive advantage because when we talking about AI, there are two important part that we have to achieve. Firstly, the AI scientists will invent the smart AI algorithm. However, this algorithm cannot recognize and be able to make the decision without the data for training them. Therefore, therefore, in many startups, they cannot have have enough resource to to employ the people to train this kind of data. So it's quite hard for them to training the smart algorithm in the shortest time. With Vulkan model, we utilize PWD ability to help us to training the AI model. Many scientific research mention the brain rewire theory that the visual cortex in blind people will support the auditory cortex to amplify the hearing ability. We also ran an experiment that recruited 30 blind students to train voice data for 6 months. The result is quite amazing. Blind people could perform 2 times faster than non-blind counterparts. At the same time, we also recruit deaf people to training the picture data, and they can perform the certain task with higher accuracy comparing with their counterparts as well. So this ability, this hidden ability of them can be the advantage in preparing dataset for training AI. Currently, can have 600 PWD, including by mobile ability and depth, working on our data labeling platform. We specially designed for them. Every day, can gain 300 visual dataset and 10,000 voice with produced by PWD workforce, and our AI scientist team are using those data to training our model. All of PWD are working 4 hours a day and get about 220 dollars a month, equivalent to about 9,520 baht in Thailand. If we can have to pay the rent by ourselves, we have to pay about 2.3 million dollar or almost 70 million baht. However, Vulcan is not the direct employer who pay the salary to PWDs. On the other hand, we use the PW law in our country that mandate all company with 100 employees to hire at least one PWD. And if the company could not follow the law, they have to pay the fee to the government fund. Therefore, we partner with 55 leading company as you see in the pictures who have PWD hiring quota but could not hiring by themselves. All PWD will train data on Vulkan platform, and our AI scientist team will use those data to develop AI algorithm. This is the win-win model because the company will get the credit to use this AI, and Vulcan can develop AI model at low cost and sell those models to our client in a reasonable price. This way, will help SME and small company in Thailand be able to get use of AI more easily because they don't have price barriers.
Thank you, Miss Mitawi. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you for sharing on that, and I'm sure what you have shared has helped us dispel the myth on PWD in workspace, namely on workers with disabilities do not perform well and require extra supervision. But clearly, from your presentation, we're able to see that they are able to perform and produce great input from the task given to them. So thank you so much, Miss Mitawi. We'll get back to you for our round 2. And now moving on to our fourth speaker from Indonesia. Apa khabar, Miss Betia Sahara, an innovation teacher from SLB Negeri Kota Banjarbaru, that is a school owned by the provincial government of South Kalimantan, Indonesia. She obtains her bachelor's degree majoring in special education from Universitas Negeri Surabaya since 2008. Then she continued her master's degree majoring in management of education at State University in South Kalimantan. And her interest in special education motivates her now to return to study and taking her PhD in special education at Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta since 2020. And she has 13 years of professional experience in special education and has several achievements and experience in learning innovation for children with special needs. With that, we are absolutely excited and thrilled to have you, Miss Betia. Without further ado, please welcome Miss Betia.
Yes, Miss Waila.
Silakan.
Oh my God. Okay, I will present. Can I share screen now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I will share my innovation, learning innovation. So, sorry. Sorry.
Okay, Miss Betia.
Wait a minute. Maybe I will share. Okay. Okay, the learning innovation that I made was creating a software for my student with mild intellectual disabilities. Regarding Miss Suhaila introduce me, my name is Betia Sahara. I'm a teacher from Indonesia in South Borneo province. The learning innovation that I made was creating a software improve the understanding of students with mild intellectual disabilities on the danger of drugs and additive abuse. I developed this app by utilizing a free Android software creation website, the namely MIT Inverter. The glimpse of my innovation I will show on in this video. There is my innovation, namely Generasi. Generasi are made to explain material about drug and additive abuse for children with mild intellectual disabilities. Generasi have several menus like description of material, link to download article or stories that relate material. Generasi also has a menu that explain how to avoid drugs, which is explained with a sound like this. Kamu harus pintar memilih teman yang baik dan Generasi also have menus for evaluation, then game, then application maker, then quiz, and menus for students how to if they are find that problem. Thank you. Okay.
My innovation name is Generasi, which means generation in English. Generasi is an acronym in bahasa Indonesia, meaning gerakan anti narkoba dengan prestasi dan literasi. Or in English, no drug with complements and literacy. Because I want my student to avoid drugs by understanding disadvantage of using it by reading a lot, copying itself with making achievement. In the application that I made, as you can see the video that was played previously, there are several menus with content I have adjusted to the learning profile of children with intellectual disabilities, such as making video, image animation, and making games where the game instills the concept that drugs and additive must be discarded or removed. I have an idea that is supported by several studies which by providing innovative learning media that are more flexible, such as software. We mean that we give them reader access learning because they can easily learn anywhere and anytime. Using digital media technologies such as mobile phones, we will also give them the opportunity to get to know digital media that is currently used to make life easier and get used to being wise in using gadgets. The content embedded in the software all menus like material, games, quizzes, and evaluation menus. I adjust to the learning characteristic of those who like games, moving animation, and other interactive digital media that can be moved and embedded in this application. Okay, some reason why I developed these apps are one is a gadget are so familiar to my student, to children that they are also need to be assumed to being direct use the information technology media wisely. I'm worried about my student whom I meet have a habit of inhaling the smell of glue, which contain harmful additive. And because my anxiety about drugs trafficking, which is so massive and can approach anyone, include my special student that love and care about. And I thought my students do not understand what is meant by harmful additive. The need from them to learn anywhere and anytime about teaching materials that they are tailored to their learning characteristic and the need media that is able to provide them with a pleasant learning experience and in accordance with the times. Okay, therefore, it can be concluded that all learning materials can be presented in an interesting way if we are able to understand their learning needs and think carefully, so that we can develop or design the right innovation to make it easier for students and to make it easier for students understand what we have said. On the next session, I will explain how I can direct my student to understand the material I want to bring up and how I can measure how successful the innovation is. So, and then I will back to Miss Suhaila. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's an extraordinary innovation on apps on drug awareness, and I'm sure from that students are able to learn anytime, anywhere, and it's very effective, most definitely. So thank you so much, Miss Vetia,
Thank
for
you,
sharing.
Saila.
Thank you. Now, without further delay, I would like to welcome our fifth speaker from the Philippines, Mabuhay, Dr. Erwin Daluna Salupare, special education teacher at Senator Claro M. Recto Memorial Integrated School, who obtains his bachelor's degree, major in special education from Lipa City Public College. His passion for special education motivated him to pursue a master's degree specializing in intellectual disabilities at the Philippine Normal University and a doctorate in special education and inclusive education at New Era University. And he had finished, he had 12 years of professional experience in special education and inclusive education, both in educational and clinical settings at public and private institutions as an early interventionist, individualized instruction facilitator, classroom teacher, professional lecturer, trainer, the list goes on, researcher and educational diagnostician. And he was also appointed as one of the resident experts of SEAMEO SEN from December 2021 up to present. Dr. Erwin is indeed a lifelong learner and advocate for learners with disabilities who believes that a legacy that reaches the heart is better than legacy that reaches the mind. Well said, Dr. Erwin. So without further delay, please welcome Dr. Erwin from Philippines. Doctor, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity, SEAMEO SEN. Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can. Oh.
Wait.
Not yet.
Somebody
Okay,
was...
now we can say, yeah. Okay, go ahead, doctor.
Okay, I'm Dr. Erwin Salupare from Senator Claro M. Recto Memorial Integrated School, and I'm here to present a research and development endeavor in disability education, particularly a contextualized educational application for children with autism spectrum disorder. Next slide. Okay. My innovation is a product of research and development. Next. Just a little background and rationale. My innovation was compelled by the reason that the technologies being used today or presently is for children with typical developing characteristics. So I'm compelled to really create a technology that would really address their characteristics. Moreover, next, I want to address the insufficiency of learning materials for them. I will walk you through the entire process. Wait. I will be walking you through the entire process of creating the educational application. So kindly press it and present it.
Hi, I'm Irvin. I've done this study to develop a contextualized educational application on number sense for children with autism spectrum disorder. Specifically, it aims to answer the following questions. How may children with autism spectrum disorder be described? In terms of number sense skills, visual processing skills, auditory processing skills, and manual dexterity. How may the findings be utilized in designing the educational application on number sense? How may the educational application on number sense be described by information technology experts in terms of technical aspect and multimedia? How may the educational application on number sense be described by special education teachers in terms of instructional content, layout, accessibility, age appropriateness, interactivity, and assessment? Based on the findings, how may the educational application on number sense be improved? The study made use of the descriptive developmental research design, utilizing the analysis, design, develop, implement, and evaluate model of instructional design. It followed the stages to come up with a development of educational application on number sense. First stage is analysis. The level of number sense was identified based on the experiences of special education teachers in teaching children with autism spectrum disorder to come up with ideas on the content of the educational application. The researcher also identified the level of visual processing, auditory processing, and manual dexterity of the aforementioned children. Second stage, design. This is where all the data gathered from the previous stage was carefully considered. The appropriate multimedia elements and features, like background color, picture, animation, transition, type of response, music and sounds, instructional program flow, level of multimedia interaction, and minimum system requirements. To make the educational application work well, were all detailed further. Third stage is development. The researcher asked the assistance of a computer programmer to code the design features into the draft of the educational application. It was then evaluated by 10 experts, the information technology experts, and special education teachers, in terms of technical and content quality, respectively using the 4-point rating scale. Revisions were applied, based on the experts' evaluation and recommendation. Fourth stage, implementation. In this stage, the crafted educational application was tried out to 10 purposefully selected children with autism spectrum disorder. The results of the tryouts were tabulated, treated, and interpreted. The fifth and last of the stages, evaluation and finalization. It is the stage where the educational application was revised and finalized after its actual tryout to 10 purposefully selected children with autism spectrum disorder, with age range of 3 to 6 years old.
Early readiness for visual learners in number sense.
Okay, that's all for round one.
Thank you, Dr. Irvin. Okay, that was a very insightful video from you. All right, now we shall move on to round two of today's webinar session. I would like to call upon Associate Professor Dr. Nik Syamuddin Muhammad again. Doctor, I found this study by Halpin et al. 2004, which provide definition in innovation that says we define innovation as to include initiatives that are perceived to be new by those who introduce and experience them, even if they are not necessarily groundbreaking in the sense of being entirely original or radically configured in the manner in which progressive educators think of this process. So, Associate Professor Dr. Nik, what do you think of this? Can you share insights and give us some feedback on the study by Halpin et al.?
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Suhaila, Madam Suhaila. Actually, when we talk about innovation, of course, the understandings and the acceptance of the term new will be depends on the levels of the application of innovation itself. Okay. Just for examples, maybe when we talk about innovation among skilled students, for example, they might have a certain level of acceptance. Whereby, when we talk about innovation, of course, they're not necessarily to be very new, because nowadays there are nothing that we can claim to be very new, 100% novel. Okay, but then when it comes to, as I mentioned, it really depends on the levels of the implementer. For example, if the industries implement innovation, if they innovate some things, they will do it. They will cover it in the way where other parties or other industries cannot replicate it. Even in small small scale, and other industries cannot replicate it. But then when we talk about industry level, for example, we are going, every time we do innovation, we have to do a literature review. We are going to do benchmarking. We are going to benchmark several products. So based on the products, we are going to do some improvement. again, of course, innovations among educators will be something like as I mentioned, simple things. But then when it comes to a more higher level, it will be a bit complicated. We will have to talk about intellectual property rights. We are going to talk about IP protection. We are going to talk about technology transfer. That's all things very, a big heavy things to discuss with the higher level. But then among schools, as I mentioned, because the intention every time we want to implement or to introduce innovation, our purpose, our intention is to help students. As long as it not relate to commercialization or it not involve generating money out of it, should be no problem actually.
Okay, Doctor. So thank you for that sharing and feedback. So how does Innovation Related Center can support teachers, Doctor?
Okay. Okay, in that case, I will have to present a bit. Can I share my slide now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Okay, can you see this slide? Okay, okay, thank you much. So I just want to introduce the model of innovation partnership that school teachers and all parties that want to embark in innovation can engage with. Okay. As I mentioned in the early part of my presentation, is of course, when we talk about innovation, some educators and innovators found that it is quite a bit difficult to start the innovation. So if you have innovation, please go for it. There are a lot of parties that can help them and can cooperate with you to realize your ideas. Okay, this is actually in general. Of course, me myself, I'm with the industry and community relations centers. But in general, there are several parties that can actually assist and can actually collaborate with all teachers, with all innovators. They have 4 types of category. First, we have educational institution, government agency. We also have industries that provide, especially in terms of fund. Okay, we have a lot of funders from industries, our GLC, MNC. We have a lot of funders from industries. We also actually have our partners from community, which they will provide us with good and clearer pictures on problems, and sometimes also as part of innovation. I believe that I've been involved. I've known many teachers from special education. I believe that they are really have high spirit. They have very strong motivation and enthusiasm. But then when we talk about ecosystem, we must involve these 4 partners. Okay, when we talk about higher education. First, higher education, for information, and this is just example of Malaysia higher education. We have several initiatives that can help actually. Of course, this initiative will be, most of the universities will be placed under the Community Relations Center. We have University Community Engagement, we have Knowledge Transfer Program. We also have Malaysia Research Assessment or MYRA that actually focus on high impact programs. I believe that when we talk about special needs education or special needs innovation, definitely it will involve high impact programs and high impact things that we can come up with. And then we also have a public-private research network. But of course, this one will be if any teachers, any innovators intend to be something like social enterprise. So they establish so-called one business that related to social enterprise in helping people, in helping special needs people, but with the assist of third parties, they can have something like social enterprise model with the support of public-private research network. We also have University for Society, U4S. We also have initiative we call as Sekolahku Universitiku, whereby under this initiative, all universities will be matched with two schools, rural schools. Okay, we also have Service Learning Malaysia or SULAM, we call as SULAM, whereby this initiative is actually initiative to have our students based on specific courses. For example, they are learning project management courses, so they have to transfer their knowledge in terms of project management to the society. In particular, in this case, if any special needs teachers want to have a good, for example, project management in terms of special needs, they can engage to any university actually. Okay, we also have this one is very recent one. Okay, will be announced now soon. Called as University for Society at Keluarga Malaysia or Unity. Okay, this is all initiative under higher education that we can collaborate with in order for all teachers, all educators, all innovators to get support and assist from higher education. Okay, of course, when we talk about higher education for schools that located near to universities, they have no easier access to universities. But then actually we are open to any schools. If you have any ideas, if you found that in any difficulties to start your project, just contact to any universities nearby. We as universities, we are very happy to help to assist our community and also our special education community. Okay, these are examples of what we are doing now in UTHM. We also have initiated a program called as Sekolah Angkat UTHM or Porter School, 10 Porter School programs, which involve 100 schools and with various field of engagement. We have done a lot of training. We have done a lot of programs, competition. Recently, we also collaborating with the Johor Education Department, JPN Johor, in terms of robotic. Of course, when we talk about robotic, not only we can focus on the mainstream student, but also we actually can also focus on the special education ones. So these are all the things that we can all educators in special needs actually you should take these opportunities. Actually, we as educators, lecturers, also educators, we are very willing, we are very open, we are very happy to help community to come up with solution that will bring back benefit to our community. Okay, sorry, why my slide? Okay, at the same time also government agency also they also have actually they are also providing a lot of initiative fundings that can help and support special needs innovation. Of course, we have Ministry of Education. Also, we have Ministry of Education, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, whereby they have Yayasan Inovasi Malaysia. They have Magics, that focus on the development of innovation. Of course, when we talk about this, higher education or Ministry of MOSTI, all of this will involve a bit of so-called as high impact or high end innovation. But then don't worry, we are here. University are part of communities. One of the role is to help our community to bring all the solutions that they need further forward. Okay, we also have Ministry of Human, Family and Community Development. As I mentioned, actually we just discussed with one of officers from this ministry to have a specific program for the career development of special needs. Of course, in this ministry, is one of the niche or one of the priorities is actually the career for the special needs. So if you have any ideas If you have any innovative programs, you can discuss with any universities. If you located in Johor or nearby, you can discuss with our universities to not to develop further the program so that we can have a lot more supporting fund from this ministry. We also have from Amara, for example, local authorities also, they have certain budgets. They have certain several budgets, especially for the community development. For example, last time, me myself along with Dr. Azlis, actually we have done collaboration with one of the local authorities in Johor. They have allocate quite a bit of money specifically for the purpose of special needs. Also, once we have done the program with them, the local authority themselves have been so-called awarded as the most friendly local authority in Johor. So that's all the things that we can take the opportunities to collaborate with in order for us to bring the impacts to the highest level. Also, we have several foundation. We have Khazanah Foundation. We have all the foundation under local authorities that can allocate certain monies to certain fundings to implement or to run our programs. We also have our industry. These also very important partners, that can be part of our innovation ecosystem. But of course, when it involves industries, maybe schools are not really familiar with industries. That's come the role of universities. That's come the roles of higher education to assist schools to either to bridge between school and industries, or at the same time also we can also work out together to come up with a proposal to propose to industry so that they can allocate certain budget. Just for mention, last few years actually I've collaborated with few schools in Johor. We managed to get funding from foundation, bank foundation, CIMB, Maybank foundations, quite a big money, not to specifically to implement innovation. Okay, that's all the things. And especially in terms when we talk about special innovation, as I mentioned, special innovation is really niche for our nation. It's really very important for our nation. We can I cannot say we can 100% get the fund, but for sure the opportunities to get the funding is very high, because special need is something like the importance, the priorities of our nation. So sometimes we can also utilize a system developed by industries. If you have any specific program, we can have so-called as crowdfunding mediums, online mediums. For the specific funding, we can propose, so a lot of funders can fund our programs. Okay, and the community as well. Of course, when we talk about communities, special education in Malaysia, compare, as I mentioned, I spent 1/4 of my life in Japan. In Japan, the specialist communities so-called quite well established. All the support systems, all the support funds to the family level, they have a lot of supporting policies. In terms of awareness, also they have a bit high awareness level among Japanese. But then when we talk about Malaysian, for example, it's still we have to do a lot of things to ensure that all communities are aware about special educations. And when we talk about special education, we should not give the 100% responsibilities only to the special education teachers, but also we have to involve teachers, students. We can do some sort like competition so that they can come up with any initiative, any program specific for special education. Yeah. Of course, we have community management and so on. Okay, this is the thing that we can offer: training and consultation about talent development, innovation, skill, internal fund. Of course, international also we have internal fund. Madam Soila, we have internal fund that we can share with all our communities actually. Okay,
Doctor. I'm very interested in that Sekolah Angkat or Foster School that is initiated by THM. So applause for that, Doctor. I was just wondering if there is the same concept in other countries, like Thailand, Philippines here, or in other states in Malaysia, if you have such collaboration, sekolah angkat or foster school with other universities in your respective states or countries, please do share with us in the YouTube and Facebook chat box, and I will share it later. So, Doctor, would you like to give us like 1 minute last roundup or conclusion of your session, Doctor?
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Soila.
Okay.
As I mentioned again, we are really happy, we are really open, we always ready to support and assist any innovators, any teachers, educators that involved in special education. So please, don't be hesitate to contact any universities. Actually, not only UTSM, we have 20 public universities to help you, because it is our role to ensure our environment, our ecosystem will become better and brighter.
Indeed. Thank you, Dr. Assistant Professor Dr. Nick Hishamuddin. Thank you so much for your tremendously beneficial sharing and insights from round 1 and round 2. And we shall get back to you later for the Q&A session. So in the meantime, we look forward for questions. If you have questions or any sharing session you'd like to share from your country's perspective to Associate Professor Dr. Nick, please do share with us in the YouTube or Facebook chat box, and I share your questions or comments later during the Q&A session. So moving on to our second speaker for round 2, Cikgu Azam. Cikgu Azam, can you please share, because earlier you shared on your innovation, which is incredible. So now, how does your innovation help assist learners with disabilities? Cikgu, the floor is yours.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Can we go to the this is the correct slide. Okay, first of all, my product, my device is I call this cableless Ravi. What is actually cableless Ravi? Yeah, cableless is scientific name for horse. Bahasa Melayu is kuda, Filipino, if I'm not mistaken, caballo. The reason I'm using the name cableless is because I'm really impressed with, inspired with horse, because during the First World War, horse are using by military to logistic support, to traveling through the deep mud or everything like that. However, most of the horses are killed, suffered by skin disorder, even injured by gas, and then most of the horses are blind or visual impaired, but the military still use the horse into the war, even they are blind. I was impressed with the tell. This is the perfect name for my device. RAVI is an acronym for running at for the visual impaired. All right, guys. Actually, my innovation is assistive technology, assistive device for helping my student to run, to have doing the drilling for their to get ready for any event. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, my inspiration. I got two, stands and dreams. I go to the dream first. I'm also a school sport coach. When I training my student Alicia and another student, there are several of problem on teaching them, on coaching them. Yeah, and then I also a teacher that I was to make sure my student have their own dream. One of my student dream is to become a national athlete for Malaysia. She hardly training with me every day, and she loves to run. Every morning she will run with me 1 kilo or 2 until to 5 km per day. She also want to join a fun run, marathon event with people her parents, sister, brother always participate on the variety of fun run, but not bring her along because the safety reason. Because the safety reason. So she asked me to bring her to the fun run program. She told me there is her new dreams and new goals. So as a teacher, we must to fulfill our student dreams. It's not easy to bring a blind kids or blind student with hundred or thousand of runners around us for the safety reason, for the stability, for her mobile. So to solve the problem, and then to make the risk is smaller, I create a device for fulfill her dreams. So actually, my why I doing my device is to fulfill my student dreams. All right. There's a lot of I got several of innovation product regarding to the stand. Stand meaning is the things that nobody want to see. So, for example, one of my product is one of my product for innovation is I'm using also pipe or PVC pipe. Once my blind boy, my blind student, for the first time he went to school and then he's want to pee to the toilet, so nobody teach him. So it's a new environment. So to pee into the bowl correctly is not easy for them. So I create. I don't like to messy or everything stand for my student. So I create something to make sure he will pee directly into the bowl. So the another stand that I don't like, once my student eating something in canteen on the rest time, my blind student will see all the food on the table or downstairs or in his or her face. So for sure, as a teacher, I don't like it. So for me, as any stand or any messy, let me to create a effective something support or accepting something device. So I'm create a orientation lunch plate for my student to eat. So they will be messy. So my innovation, my inspiration I'm doing is my dream, our student dreams, and also the stand for my student. All right. For next slide, please. Okay, this is the common way right now in the world. They are using how the blind people are running. You can see in the picture using a rope and also using a dog or any rope. So everything will be messy if run with others. Okay. So next slide, please. Okay. So the common way or the traditional way, using a rope, there are lack of confidence for the blind to run, and we need to have a experienced guider to bring the blind runner, and a lack of stability for sure. There will be a lack of stability. For my product, my student more confident. I do find it, I believe it, more confident. Anyone can be a guide runner. No need to have a latihan or latihan on a long time. And then more safety, more stability. Yeah. So my product is solve the problem on how my student or the blind runner to run. Next, please. Okay, my creed of my innovation, I just share one book from Dennis Welter, the winner of Edge. I really like to read his book, Imagination plus Innovation with equal to realization. His book very, very good. He teach us to how to have a motivation on doing innovation. And then I'm really like to share with you all with Thomas Edison. he is the first person who create a metal. His word, his quote is very make me something. There is a way to do better. Find it. So every problem, just do. You will find a new things. Yeah, and a new way to become a better. And also for my fellow special education teacher, once we want to create an innovation, please don't thinking about to teach only. Do a new things from the multiple intelligence. They are kinesthetic, interpersonal, music, and you can see in my presentation. There's a lot of things. I'm doing for body kinesthetic. So don't doing for only for academic for to teach ABC or 1 to 3. There's a lot of things to do. Yeah. All right. Okay. Next. Are there any obstacle? For sure, there will be an obstacle. I don't want to share with you what is my obstacle in my problem in doing this product is not suitable. But what I can share with you, blind your eye for any action, not good action. Blind your eye, deaf your ear for any things that people will talk too much for us. Why are you doing this or like blah 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 blah? So don't worry about it. Deaf your ear.
Yeah.
And believe of your
Believe in yourself.
Okay, next my last. Okay, a timeline for my campus YB. Guys, the first version in the video, just like a trolley, just a simple. And then the second is I apply it, I analyze it, I improve it, and Alhamdulillah, it's very good. It can be done to bring my student on the road. And then the third step is the open source. As a teacher, I want to give what I'm done to people for free, open source. So I'm doing my Cableless YV. I put in the site all the details how to do it. I give free, so everybody can use it. Yeah. And then my third version, I'm doing with one of the university in Malaysia. They try to get a grant or everything like that to get a better version. There's a brake, a lamp, a sensor for my cableless baby on helping my student to run. Yeah. Okay, Sohaila.
Thank you so much, Cikgu Azam. Thank you for fulfilling the dreams of your students, and I'm sure more students out there will benefit in years to come from your innovation. We hope you keep innovating, and we sure hope that your great effort will influence more educators out there to continue to innovate, to elevate. So thank you so much,
welcome.
Azam. Okay, I shall move on to our next speaker for round 2. Earlier on, Ms. Mitawi has dispelled myth on PWDs in workspace because there are previous studies that show that 90% of people with disabilities rated average or better on job performance. And more recently, another study compared workers with and without disabilities in the hospitality, healthcare, and retail sectors and found that job performance and supervision were similar for both groups. That means they are able to do it. So, Ms. Metawi, can you share more on innovating workspace for PWD as a catalyst of change from Thailand? Please welcome Ms. Metawi.
Hello. For this part, I would like to start this session with the employment statistic in Thailand. 60% of the company use the 33 sections of PW laws to hire PWDs. It means that they directly employ PWD to work in their organizations. However, there are still 23% of companies that still pay the money to the fund instead of hiring PWDs. As I have mentioned earlier, for the company, they have 3 options for hiring PWD to comply with our law. Firstly, they can hire PWD directly. This will be under 33 sections of the law. Secondly, if they cannot hiring the PWD directly, they have to pay the money to the funding to the government fund. And for the last part, there are 17% that of the companies that they are outsourced PWD to working for them, or they choose to provide the resource or training for PWD. So the PWD could be able to have a job opportunity and earn for their life. And this is, and you can, if you see in this picture, you can see that there are about 10,000 position available for PWD. If those companies that decide to shipping for paying the money to the fund to hiring the PWDs. However, most companies that still choose to pay the fee for funding instead of directly hire PWD have common problem. They do not know that what the ability that PWD can do, and they also do not know how to work with them. Therefore, welcome we use the knowledge about PWD and technologies to pursue the company to consider hiring PWD. I will give you some example of the technologies we have invented to solve this issue. Firstly, in the picture, there is Vulcan Academy. We have developed the e-learning platform that allow all type of PWD to access and get the digital knowledge. After they finish the course, they will have a quiz to evaluate the understanding of them, and also they will get the certificate after finish all the course. And this platform were decided by the PWD who have who are our developers. After they pass all the tests and they were qualified, we will list all the qualified PWD in our linkage platform to match them with the company who intend to hiring PWD. Since hiring PWD in Thailand requires many documents, so our platform will generate all the documents and contacts for hiring PWD. This will also help hiring PWD more easily for company and make the company easily to decide that they should shipping from paying to the government fund to hiring the PWD. We also invest our resource to develop the accessible working platform so all PWD can work at home through their computers, and this will make PWD be able to work more conveniently. When I talk about PWD preparing dataset for training AI, many might wonder what kind of work they are doing and how. Currently, by people preparing voice data for training text-to-speech and speech-to-text AI, they also classify text intention for training chatbot. On the other hand, the depth will classify visual data at the mobile, and the mobile ability will do text annotation and image recognition. And in this picture, there are the image recognition that the depth will be able to perform. Our key success factor that how can we utilize the ability of PWD to training AI is we have PWD in our core team. 9 out of 20 of our core team are PWD, some of them working in learning and development department to initiate the learning material and curriculum to to reskill and upskill 600 PWDs who are working on our platform. Some of them are the software engineer team. We have two blind and one Asperger syndrome who develop platform that accessible for all types of PWD. For example, this is the voice labeling platform, which invented by the developer team who are people with disability. Our voice labeling platform will describe all buttons on the website so the screen reader will read it for the blind. And our platform also designed for the blind group that we use the keyboard instead of mouse to navigate the website. Visual labeling platform use icon to describe words so the deaf who cannot literally reading Thai language can be able to understand and be able to perform on our platform. Last year, Vulcan we partnered with top 5 property developer in Thailand to launch home automation AI, which co-developed by PWD. The AI will allow the homeowner to control the house by voice command. This year, the AI will install in the luxury home segment in Thailand. We plan to launch another 2 AI models this year, including text-to-speech AI and AI depression detection. Our text-to-speech could turn 200 pages of ebook to audio book within 10 minutes, and the voice is natural like human. We aim to create a variety of voice as an alternative for corporate to integrate it with AI call center. We also partner with Benya Blind Library to use this technology to produce the book that accessible for the blind, since the existent process for the library require many volunteers to read the book and consume myriad of time. For AI depression, we developed this AI to detect the sign of depression in workplace by using voice, intention, and face expression data. This year, we have an ambitious goal to create more job opportunity in technology sector for PWD. In order to accomplish this goal, we partner with Ministry of Social and Ministry of Digital. And I am confident that the data set prepared by potential PWDs will help us develop the smart AI algorithm for business use. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations and great job there, Ms. Mitari. Technology driven by disability. That is truly remarkable. So thank you, Khop Kun Ka, Ms. Mitari, for becoming
Thank
an
you.
inspiring CEO of Vulcan Coalition. I was just wondering, can you share with us, like briefly, very short, why the name Vulcan?
Okay. Since Vulcan is the name of God in Greek mind. And this God were kicked out of the heaven, and he is blind. He is disabled people, and then he invent the tool for the God in the heaven to use. So we think that it's similar as our company, that now we utilize the ability and potential of PWD to invent the AI that help everyone life better.
Thank you. That is truly inspiring. Thank you so much, Ms. Betari. We'll get back to you later for the Q&A session. In the meantime, I would like to move on to our next speaker, Ms. Betia from Indonesia. Earlier, you shared with us what kind of innovation, why did you innovate such app for your students there? And now we would like to know more how the apps has assisted learners with disability. So, Ms. Petia, dipersilakan.
Thank you, Ms. Laila. Okay, in this section, I will focus to share about how I can direct my student to understand the material. Maybe I will share screen. There's see share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. The first thing I do before the lesson takes place in to teach them to understand how to use gadget to learn, so that they also accustomed to understanding the gadget are not only for playing. Then I teach how to install the software into their device and teach them how to learn and understand the material through this application. I direct them to understand the material through the material menus, which content learning video, and there are also additional video of materials in the form understanding and additional literacy reference for concept enrichment. So menu are provided with a description of text, sound, and animation icon with interesting to measure their understanding and how successful learning using this media was. I give an evaluation menu that contain question about the material they had been taught. In addition, sometimes I ask my student to write, describe, or retell what they knew about harmful additive according to their own version of the understanding. Know that for children with special needs, it is important to measure learning outcomes in a different manner based on the abilities they have. In addition to this, I also am I am the games in this application, and in this game, children will play to dispose of drugs and adjectives that they find in the game to the trash, put the trash to give them an understanding that this item should not be used arbitrarily. And then I measure to success of using the media through analysis of the result of the pre-test and post-test scores and using a research method with single subject research. Single subject research, this is usually used in special education. And then there are some positive impact of my project when I develop this innovation. First, it is easier for my student to understand the material I convey. Because to carry out an innovation, I previously observed that their learning needs were look at a most pleasant solution to meet these learning needs, which of course were also adapt to characteristic of the learning barriers they have. The second is a broad learning opportunity because by providing a different learning experience learning through digital, I directly give them opportunity to study anywhere and anytime and give them access to get to know the digital world, which is starting to affect the lifestyle and development of the modern era. The third is a change in their learning behavior by providing learning that is in accordance with their learning characteristic and needs. It turned out that it can change their behavior such as learning activities and interest in better learning so that they are easier to understand, which will ultimately provide knowledge for appropriate behavior change or what is expected is in accordance with the learning objective to be achieved. Because the innovation that I do are based on the analysis of the result of learning needs and their characteristic. Of the obstacle they have, learning becomes more fun, especially like what we know today. What we know today is that gadgets are almost is great demand by student, apart from being a communication tool as well an entertainment tool. The concept entertainment tool makes them not feel like they're being forced to learn. So that is to imprison of fun learning. The last impact is good learning outcomes because they understand the learning material well in fun learning sauna, so that it raises interest and high learning motivation. And in the end, the result and goals maximum learning will be achieved and produce good learning outcomes. Okay, innovation can be done in various ways, either by finding a new concept, combining or eliminating an element learning that can be used. But what we need to remember is that no matter how well an innovation is done in learning, if it not adapt to the needs and characteristic of student, it will be useless. It is also important for us as educators to answer the sustainability of an innovation by continuing to learn and being as sensitive to what students want and need in the learning environment and outcomes, so that we can provide quality learning outcomes and process and produce a generation of superior nation according to their potential. Lastly, I think innovation should be recorded as an ecosystem because otherwise it will only belongs to individuals. That's all for me. Thanks you, Miss Suhaila.
Well said, Miss Betia. Truly extraordinary. We wish you all the best on your effort, and we hope that your effort will inspire more educators out there to continue to innovate, to elevate. So great informative session. Terima kasih ya, Miss Betia Indonesia.
Sama-sama. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll get back to you later for the Q&A session. Again, to our viewers on YouTube and Facebook, if you have questions or comment feedback to our speakers, please do share in the chat box and I shall read the questions to our speakers later. Moving on to our next speaker from the Philippines, Dr. Irvin. Earlier, Doctor, you have also explained why you begin this innovation during round one. Now you would like to know more from you on how it has assisted learners with disabilities. So please go ahead, Dr. Irvin. The floor is yours.
Okay. Since the goal of this webinar is to inspire, for round two, allow me to share the innovation impact. This is a result of the reflection of all the innovations that I've done from module, teaching and learning activities, products, and teacher capability building activities. Next slide. Innovation impact. Innovation should, first, inspires and motivates a person to create new solutions to problems. M, maintains the motivation for continuous improvement. P, produces challenges to solve. A, adopts high standards as norms of transformation. C, creates a culture of creativity and collaboration. And T, takes the initiative to research, act, and reflect. For the specific impact of my innovation, next slide. Okay. The particular innovation or the contextualized multimedia app help learners attain good work behavior, since this is carefully designed based on the way they think, behave, and process information. Next, the systematic presentation and provision of multimedia elements and the overall design features of the app aim also to help parents have an active educational involvement through follow-up at home, since the application can be accessed using an affordable device, the Android mobile phone. For teachers, this could also be integrated in the different parts of the lesson. This could be used as a supplementary tool for pre-assessment and assessment part of the lesson, depending on the preference of the teacher and other learning facilitators at home. Third, it is duty-bound to aid learners with ASD, special education teachers, their parents, educational researchers, and other professionals in disability education. Another, next slide. Next slide. Okay. So the derivative of this innovation actually is this is free for use for all parents and educators who are active lifetime members of the enablers of Realistic Venue for Inclusive Nourishment Club, a professional support group dedicated to help teachers, parents, and other professionals involved in educating learners with disabilities. This organization actually has 42 lifetime members across the Philippines. Okay, that's the specific impact of my presented innovation. Thank you. Okay, this is the pictures of the students using the application. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Irvin. Thank you so much for your session earlier, particularly on impact, like innovation, inspire, maintains, produce, adopt, creates, and takes. So that's very brilliant, Dr. Irvin. Very knowledgeable indeed. And I would like to also give a round of applause to our speakers here today who were very great with the excellent effort with not just interesting topic, but very important topic indeed that are very relatable to all educators out there. So again, congratulations and a good job to all our speakers for today. And as for our audience, we are opening up the session for Q&A session now. And I would like to begin with the first question to Dr. Nick, Professor Dr. Nick. Doctor, based on past studies, what are the significant barriers for teachers to innovate? Can you perhaps share from context in Malaysia, Doctor?
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sohaila. Okay, based on my experience engaging with several teachers, educators, particularly in innovation and STEM, one of the major barriers is, of course, because innovations, if we start with simple one, okay, for example, if you want to start with simple one, as now we want to produce a poster, we want to build a video, awareness video. If it involves a skill, we have to develop our talent. We have to teach our teachers on how actually they can use that. Then we have several apps, mobile app that can be used for that purpose. But then once they started to get to develop their interest, they get very they get interested to get involved deeper in innovation. Most of the cases, because innovation, as I mentioned, needs money. Okay, there's funding. We have to have certain allocation of fund to create something, as also shown by Cikgu and Teacher One. The Teacher One developed tools for the blind students. So of course it involves money, but then when it comes to funding, even though it's a big barrier, but then it can be solved by as I mentioned, by collaborating with external parties. There are certain things, Ms. Sohaila, there are certain things we as university, there are certain things that we are difficult to penetrate to the funder, because some funder, of course, they really want the collaboration of participation from schools. That is the thing that we cannot blend these two requirements together so that we can benefit each other. Of course, first, yes, skills, and then we have problem with fund, and after certain times, Ms. Sohaila, in particular, special needs. Of course, special needs teachers are very superb, excellence. They don't need anything. They don't need any motivational factors just for the sake of their student. I believe that not all special needs students are on that nature. But then, in my experience, of course, me myself also, we started a lot of innovators started with their own willingness to start something. But after certain times, they keep on do the innovation. For sure, they will need supporting policies. No supporting policies. People are still people. Okay, human beings are still human beings. They need to be recognized. They need to be appreciated. They need to be some things that give them benefit. Of course, no, if we want to have someone, of course, it's very good things. But then usually, I always told my staff also, if you want to help someone, first of all, you have to ensure that you yourself must be helped first. Okay, you must because in innovation we have to spend a lot of time. Okay, we have to engage, we have to come up, we have to discuss with our targeted group of people what are the problems, and then we have to press our brain to come up with a solution. It involves a lot of time. Sometimes in my case also we have to travel a lot of somewhere. We have to cut our time with our family, and that sometimes will return back to the innovators in the form of stressful. So in order for us to overcome that kind of situation, we have to have a supporting policies that can help back. Not all the innovators can either in terms of funding, in terms of appreciation, anything that can help back to our innovators.
Dr. Nick, so with the supporting policies that you mentioned, right, these will be some sort of like something for them to hold on so they can decide to repeat an innovation? Or because after this, I would like to also ask Cikgu Azam and Miss Betia, as well as other speakers, Miss Metawi and Dr. Irvin, what's your plan? What's your future plan on innovation? So as for now, Dr. Nick, what is your comment on what makes them decide to repeat on innovation?
Yeah, of course.
Because it's self-initiated, yeah, Doctor?
Yeah. Most of the time, it's really self-initiated. We want to innovate because we love innovation. We want to innovate because we want to solve problems. That is nature of innovators. But then, as I mentioned, to sustain the spirit, the enthusiasm of all the innovators, we have to support them. We cannot what we call it as take for granted, this kind of good people, this kind of excellent people. Of course, they are willing to do anything for the sake of students. They are willing to do anything. But we, as in my case, I am an innovator, and at the same time, also a managers. Okay, as managers, as innovators, we have to help people. But as managers, we have to help the innovators. As managers, we cannot just take for granted or just they want to do it because they just they want to do it. Just let them do it. Cannot, because we have to support them.
Right.
In any ways, also in terms of supporting system, most of the cases, I believe that we have millions of innovation. But one of the problem also, we don't have a so-called as library of innovation. Okay, for example, what have been done by Dr. Cikgu Azam is really great, really excellent. But in the case, for example, any schools that located in rural areas, they don't even know what actually been done by Cikgu Azam. If they don't know about it, they can replicate it. They can also make sure that the innovation that been done by Cikgu Azam also can benefit their own students. So we still don't have that kind of system, library system, so that we can just refer to the system. We can make sure the innovation that being introduced, being carried out by all innovators, not only keeping by their own, but also can be utilized, can be used by a lot of people. This very important support. This very excellent, Miss Betia, Miss Metawi, Dr. Elvin, and Cikgu Aziz, very excellent people.
Indeed,
We have to
yes.
support them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nick. That is truly, I would say, informative from your side, yeah, because apart from the support, what else can Cikgu Azam or Miss Betia, Dr. Irvin, and Miss Metawi add on to what Dr. Nick has mentioned from your perspective as innovator of your product? You want to start, Miss Metawi, perhaps from Thailand? What are the challenges that you face? Because we do have another question from YouTube here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the challenge that I have been faced is like, since we have to develop the program that be able to accessible by many type of PWD, because each of PWD they have specific requirement. As I mentioned from the slide, that for example for blind people, there are many perspectives of blind. I mean, some of our workforce might be able to see, but at the low level. It means that they do not use the screen reader, but they prefer the larger text size of text, so they can be able to read it more easily. Or some of the blind people in our workforce, they cannot see widely. So it means that if the size of the text is larger, it make them process the text slower. This is the small example how diversify of need that we have to develop the platform that meet those kind of need, and it's not easy. But luckily that our core team, the developer are blind and Asperger syndrome, so it make everything more easier to produce the platform, because they are the one who use those platform, so they know the insight.
Yeah.
And they know that what the blind people want. And I think this is the key success why we can innovate the innovation that truly support PWD.
Because you mentioned that there are those who are in the team that themselves are PWDs, so they can actually relate to the innovation and they find it more meaningful and helpful for them because they are themselves. Yeah.
So, and I think it's like, since they are the one who invent and develop innovator by themselves.
Right.
So I think they have the better understanding of the insight than non-disabled developer.
Thank you, Miss Mutai, for sharing that. Cikgu Azam and Miss Betia, we have a question for you. What do you think is the most challenging role for teachers in the implementation of these kinds of innovation? This question is from our YouTube channel from Miss Shirley Egua. So, Miss Dr. Irvin, Miss Betia, when you're ready.
And what's the question?
Yeah, okay, I repeat the question. What do you think is the most challenging role for teachers in the implementation of intervention that you've mentioned just now?
For me, the most challenging part is to stay motivated. Because again, if you will see the previous slide that I've shared, the reflection, actually, that sums up innovation, and that somehow sums up how to elevate our educational system. Actually, things are easier said than done. But then this webinar, I hope you could really see that innovation is something doable. You just need to have that desire to really innovate. I cannot really give you the specifics on how you're going to address the challenges, because it depends on your context. But then as long as you have that desire to solve the problem, that desire to help the disability education, the inclusive education, or the special education, as they say, you can actually go over and overcome those challenges. So again, the most difficult part is the most challenging part is to look for innovation and have that motivation that you want to change something. As long as you have that, all other things follow through.
Thank you so much. Ms. Vetia, would you like to add on what Dr. Irving has mentioned?
Yes, you asked for me the most challenging
Yes.
when I implementation the innovation. Maybe I just little addition for statement Dr. Effie. My the most challenging, another the most challenging I think my student have a variety disability. So maybe when they're understanding the material, the variety disability, most challenging, and some not all my students have a gadget, because the economic background, condition from my student, they are different.
All right, thank you.
So
Thank
I
you.
think the most challenging when I implementation innovation application is they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vetia. I would like to also ask Cikgu Azam. Cikgu Azam, what are the challenges, or do you think the challenges teachers face in innovation?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Suhaila. The first the main challenge is for sure fun. To create something, you need to have a fun. If you don't have any fun, somebody want you don't have any money, you will not cannot do it. And the second one is the expertise, the knowledge regarding the innovation. For example, I don't know anything about mechanical, so I need to create something about mechanical. So we need expert opinions or everything like that to create it. And then the third one is regard to group support. Our friend, I cannot run by myself. I need somebody to run with me. And I not only one student, I got a lot of students want to run. So how I can bring along a lot of my students. If I am the only one, I can run. And then the another is a trust or confidence by parents. Sometimes our student parents, they don't have any confidence, or they don't trust their student, their own student to do something. So for me, fun, expertise, group support, and trust or confidence from the parent is the challenge that me and the teacher of special education will get,
Well said, Cikgu Azam. I believe that when all of you or other educators out there have the purpose or your focus on your mission, then that will keep you going as well. And despite the challenges, so with the purpose, knowing what you want to achieve, that will also be something that will keep you going. So we hope that things will be easier in the future. That is why it is important, it's significant for SEAMEO SEN to organize this webinar, for example, and more competitions coming up on innovation, because we want to encourage more teachers to innovate, to elevate for their students, and hopefully that they'll be more confident. And SEAMEO SEN will also share what we can do in order to get more innovators out there in Southeast Asia, particularly particularly in special educational needs. So thank you so much. And now, is there any more question from technical? Okay. Thank you to our speakers again. I can't thank you enough for such great input from all of you. Is there? Oh yeah, please do share if there's any link. Yeah, Dr. Nick, Miss Metawi, Dr. Irvin, Miss Betia, Cikgu Azam. If there's any link that our viewers here can get in touch with you or to read more on your upcoming projects or perhaps to collaborate, please do share in the chat box. Okay, and later our technical team will paste it and share it in our YouTube and Facebook so that our viewers can get in touch with all of you. So please share in the chat box, Dr. Nick, Cikgu Azam, Miss Metawi, Dr. Irvin, as well as Miss Betia. Okay, and perhaps there are one of our viewers here who can be interested in your upcoming project. Who can perhaps fund your upcoming innovation, inshallah. So we hope for the best. Okay, so do share, and our technical team will share in Facebook and YouTube. All right then. Moving on, as mentioned earlier in this webinar on the Disability Inclusive Education Innovation Competition 2023, let us watch this teaser video prepared by SEAMEO SEN. So, if the IT team is ready, let us watch the video. Okay, that is really exciting. I'm sure all of you are thrilled. So please stay tuned to find out more information on the upcoming Disability Inclusive Education Innovation Competition 2023. Do follow us on our social media for more updates on this competition. And now, without further delay, I would like to invite our director, Dr. Hajah Hanani Harun Rasid, to give away the certificate of appreciation to our speakers. We shall begin with Associate Professor Dr. Nick Hishamuddin Muhammad Noor. Okay, Dr. Nick, here's your certificate of appreciation from SEAMEO SEN. Last words from you, Dr. Nick.
Thank you very much. It's really a great honor to be part of SEAMEO SEN and also be in line with all these distinguished panels. And me myself and also UTHM, we are very happy. We are always ready to assist and to support the development of special education in Malaysia and also in South Asia. Thank you very much, Ms. Wala and also SEAMEO SEN.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nick Hishamuddin. We wish you all the best, Doctor. Looking forward to more sessions with you, inshallah. So moving on, I would like to invite our next speaker, Cikgu Wan Muazzam bin Wan Abidin, to receive his certificate of appreciation and to say a few words to our viewers here. Cikgu?
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Guys, let our students have their own dream, a purpose. A purpose. To have dream is a way to study. For the teacher, create innovation through not only through problem, create innovation through their special. Create innovation to help our students to gain their specialization. All right. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Cikgu Azhar. Well said, Cikgu. Moving on to our next speaker, Miss Metawi Tatsana Satyankit from Thailand. Miss Metawi, a few words from you, Miss Metawi.
Yeah, so I think I believe that every PWD, they have ability. And through innovation, we can help them unlock those ability. And if we can do it, we will have a lot of PWD who can contribute to our society. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Mitawi. Moving on to our next speaker, I would like to invite Miss Betia Sahara to receive her certificate of appreciation and to say a few words. Miss Betia. Miss Betia, you're muted, Miss Betia. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Suhaila. Thank you, SEAMEO. I think I make innovation can always think about PWD is not disability but disability. Thank you and see you next time. Thank you for SEAMEO and Miss Suhaila.
Thank you, Miss Betia. Not disability, but this ability, right? Thank you. Well said, Miss Betia. I would like to invite Dr. Haja Hanani to also give the certificate of appreciation to our next speaker, Dr. Irvin. Dr. Irvin, a few words from you, please.
Again, thank you, SEAMEO SEN, for inviting me to be one of the speakers for this webinar. To inspire you, please do share the one that I've presented about innovation impact. And again, I want to say that a legacy that reaches the heart is better than a legacy that reaches the mind. So when we make innovation, you should strive to influence.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Irvin. Okay, and of course, I would like to also give a round of applause to our sign language interpreter, Miss Tan Libby, who has been signing since morning to all of our viewers here. Miss Tan Libby, we also have a certificate of appreciation to you. Thank you so much, Miss Tan Libby. Thank you. It's always nice to have Miss Tan Libby with us joining our webinar. Okay, moving on now, I would like to invite our Deputy Director of SEAMEO SEN, Dr. Muhammad Azlis Sani Mat Jalil, to deliver his closing remarks. Dr. Azlis, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. Dr. Hanani Harun Rashid, Director of SEAMEO SEN. Our speakers for today, Associate Professor Dr. Nik Hishamuddin Muhammad Noor, Director Industry and Community Relations Centre ICRC, Universiti Tun Hussein On Malaysia, Mr. Wan Muazzam Wan Abidin, Innovation Teacher, Sekolah Kebangsaan Klang Malaysia, Ms. Mitawi, CEO of Vulcan Coalition Thailand, Ms. Betia Sahara, Innovation Teacher, SLB Negeri Kota Banjarbaru Indonesia, Dr. Erwin D. Salupari, Special Education Teacher, Senator Claro M. Recto Memorial Integrated School, Philippines, SEAMEO SEN Webinar Organizing Committee, and to all participants from SEAMEO member countries. I am very grateful that we have to come to the end of the webinar, Innovate to Elevate. Thank you for your diligent commitment for attending this webinar. We are happy to see teachers, school administrators, parents, NGOs, and caregivers of students with disability participate in this webinar to explore new approaches in uplifting the quality of disability inclusive education in Southeast Asia. In accordance with SEAMEO SEN's objective, which is promoting teachers' capacity building, SEAMEO SEN aims to highlight the importance and share the mechanism in developing impactful innovation projects. Teachers, school administrators, parents, NGOs, and caregivers of learners with disabilities. For today's webinar, it is hoped that all participants will get hold-on valuable inputs on how to create innovation projects which will help to provide an inclusive learning environment for learners with disabilities. Moreover, the innovation also can help in building a better intervention and tools that will contribute in creating inclusive teaching practices to respond to students with disabilities needs. This webinar aims to give a better understanding and strengthening capacity of teachers, school administrators, parents, NGOs, and caregivers in catering and fulfilling the learners with disabilities required in undergoing the learning process. Ladies and gentlemen, We are very fortunate today to have the experts and experiential speakers. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Nik Hishamuddin Muhammad Noor, Mr. Wan Muazzam Wan Abidin, Ms. Mitawi, Ms. Betia Sahara, and Dr. Erwin D. Salupari. SEAMEO SEN is very honored to have these experts with us today for sharing their knowledge and experiences on preparing innovation project for learners with disability. It is hoped that all of you now already have some ideas and notion on how to start to create significant and impactful innovation project for the benefit of learners with disabilities. On another note, I would like to inform you that SEAMEO SEN will be organizing a Disability Inclusive Education Innovation Competition in 2023. I would like to encourage all of you to take part in the competition. It is hoped that all of you here will be part of the competition and you can start to brainstorm your innovation projects now. Looking forward to receive your nomination innovation project next year. Please keep updated with SEAMEO SEN programs via our official website and social media. Thank you for your time and till we meet again in upcoming SEAMEO SEN programs. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Aziz. Okay, I would like to share here in YouTube. There's a comment from Mr. Jairuddin Hajilani who says here, thank you for all speakers. I am inspired with all of you. Hopefully in the future, I can innovate something. So thank you. Thank you for that comment, Mr. Jairuddin Hajilani. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you to all who has been watching from morning until now. And here is the evaluation link, evaluation QR code, and we shall share the link in the chat box for you to fill out in order for you to receive your certificate of participation from SEAMEO SEN. Okay, we shall share the link again in the chat box, yeah? Our IT team will share. Okay, moving on. This webinar would not have been successful if it had not been for the effort from such great team of SEAMEO SEN, the Research and Innovation Division, Training and Consultation Division, as well as from Strategic and Communication Unit. So we did it, guys. Congratulations and good job, everybody. And do follow us on our social media because we'll be having another webinar coming soon in June. Here's the teaser of the upcoming webinar, something exciting. Well, Superheroes United Parent-Teacher Collaboration. So do watch out and follow us on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, where we'll be updating more on the upcoming webinar on 11 June. Okay, so mark your calendar for the next webinar, Parent-Teacher Collaboration, Superheroes United. Okay, and now we have come to the end of our webinar today. Yes, time flies fast. We're having so much of fun. And again, here's the social media that you can follow: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and do subscribe on our YouTube channel. In the meantime, take care to our speakers, Dr. Nik, Ms. Metawi, Cikgu Azam, Ms. Betia, Dr. Erwin. Thank you so much. My apologies for any shortcomings from SEAMEO SEN. We hope to see you again. We hope for further collaboration. All the best to you. Ms. Talibi, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, SEAMEO.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
You take care. I'll see you again.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's time to open our eyes to a bright and promising future. We'll rise rise to the call of the times and create a stronger tomorrow. Let's start to make a difference, teaching everyone to learn. Through science, health, and technology, we will share our expertise. By promoting knowledge and policies, we can build a better world. Let us take a stand for our visions alone, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dreams. Here at SEAMEO, building the future is our legacy. We'll achieve our goals through partnership, creating opportunities. By working hand in hand, we can accomplish all our dreams. For a better quality of life is now within